And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Kent Holste Podcast, right here on the home of the Kent Holste Podcast, right here on YouTube. And I'm so glad that you decided to click this link and join in the conversation, as today we are going to be talking about what are you afraid of? For me, there's lots of things that I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm afraid of losing important people in my life. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of just not having a job. I'm afraid of, one day not being able to breathe or whatever. I mean, there's so many things that I fear. And the question is why do we have so many things that we fear about in our life? Is it because of something significant that has happened in your past? Is it because of a loss that you may have had in your past that is causing you to have this fear? We need to figure this out. So in the comment spot below, if you feel comfortable, it's not a big deal if you don't want to. It's just this podcast is a way to inspire and help people and have other people know that they're not alone within their struggles. This is a great opportunity to open that door to help someone. So share what your fears are in your life. What are you afraid of? And how have you overcome your fears? We're going to talk all about this today and hopefully much, much more. So when we talk about fear, we think of all those examples that I gave of what my fears are. Maybe there's something much smaller for you. Maybe there are fears that are much bigger, more greater. Maybe these fears that we have are just not relevant. Maybe we focus so much on our fears that we forget that the things that we are fearing maybe aren't that bad at all. Maybe they can be overcome. We hear all these people talk about how they're afraid of heights or how people have fear of being in a plane. They're afraid of speaking in a room with lots and lots of people. There's so many things that we fear, but these things can be overcome by finding ways to cope, finding ways to attempt to defeat these fears. Like there's so many people that go skydiving. There's so many people that go bungee jumping. There's so many people that do these things to try to defeat what their fears are. Some are successful at it, some are not. Like for me, I don't think I could ever skydive, bungee jump. I don't think I could ever do that because I'm too afraid. I just don't think I could do it. And I see all these videos of people skydiving and they pass out or they go on these. I'm definitely afraid of roller coasters. I don't know why. I'm just afraid of the flips. I don't know. I don't know if I could handle it. And with the way that my body is now, I don't think I could handle it, to be quite honest. But I fear it. But there's these people that do it and they try it and everything is okay. It's not as bad as what they thought. That's what you got to do sometimes. You have to overcome your fears. You have to overcome these things that you are afraid of to move forward. And that's the thing. You may find out that you may like it, that you may like these roller coasters, the skydiving, the bungee jumping, these high risk things that you never thought were humanly possible for you, but you did it anyways and you defeated your fears. And for those of you that struggle with public speaking, there's these groups called Toastmasters, I believe it's called, and you can go there and they basically work with you and get you to be comfortable to speak in large groups of people. And these people are there to support you. Maybe those are some things that you can do to overcome your fears, overcome these obstacles in your life that you don't think are possible. On a prior podcast, we talked about believing. We talked about what it can do for your life when you can start to believe in your capabilities. Maybe believing is something that you need to do within your fears and what you're afraid of. There's other things that we may be afraid of as well. It's the fear of rejection, fear of people not understanding what you need to express. For me, for a long part of my life, I would say things and it would come out the wrong way. People would misunderstand me. People would get upset with me and I would be confused as to why they would be upset with me. And so I would live in fear of saying how I needed to say things because I was afraid I would be rejected. And I'm not just talking about when you go up to someone and say, hey, you want to go on a date with me, or you want to be my girlfriend? No, I'm not talking about that rejection. I am talking about, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I need, and this is what I would like to see come from this scenario. And maybe it was all how I went about it. Maybe that's the problem with what we fear, is we don't realize is we're part of the problem of why we fear these things, is we're not coming across the right way, that we're not saying and expressing the things that we need to in the right way because we get nervous. And then more fears come into play within these situations, and it just becomes more worse as it goes on. Life is definitely not easy. Life is something where we think to ourselves, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I'm afraid. Have you ever been in these moments where you go on a road trip? And back in the day, I don't know if you heard about these, but they used to have things called maps. They were on a piece of paper and you unfold it, and it looked kind of like a brochure at the beginning, but when it's opened, it's this huge, massive piece of paper. I'm joking, but it's true. People use those. And nowadays we don't have that. Well, they exist, but people would rather use their phones and use GPS. But even at that, when people use these road maps on a piece of paper or they use their GPS, sometimes they don't work out. You still get lost. And then comes the evil words of fear, or you get worried about things like, oh no, my phone isn't working. My phone died. What am I going to do? I am fearing that I'm not going to get to where I need to go. I'm afraid that I'm going to be late. All these things happen and we don't know what to do. We don't have a plan B for our fears. We don't prepare ourselves for what might happen. Maybe when it comes to trips, you need a third option besides having a paper map, having your GPS, and maybe you need to invest into a Garmin just in case that doesn't work. Or just have someone come from where you're going to and be your navigation for you because they know where they're going. I don't know. But there's so many things that you can do to overcome these fears. You know, most people have fear of driving. There's a lot of people that I know that don't have a driver's license because they have a fear of driving because of something significant that may have happened while being in a car in the past. Believe it or not, that happens. And the thing is there's so many times where these people have these unfortunate situations where they're in an accident or they see an accident and they're traumatized. And then that situation that they saw or they experienced creates fear. It caused this pain that's in their mind that they feel like, oh, I can't ever go in that position of being in a vehicle where I'm driving, or I can't sit in the front seat. I need to sit in the back seat. There's so many things that they fear. I don't know how to deal with this situation. So if you have this type of fear, put in the comment spot what to do. What advice can you give? Maybe you had that fear of being able to drive, and what did you do to overcome that? And now you're driving and you've got this wonderful ability to go where you need to go without the assistance of somebody else. Who knows? But put that in the comment spot. And in case you're just by chance clicking in the middle of this podcast and you're wondering what we're talking about, we're talking about fear, what we're afraid of. So in the comment spot, put what you fear, put what you're afraid of in your little comment spot there. Another thing that we fear, and being a parent, I have felt this many, many times, is the fear of, is my kids going to reject me? Is my kids going to turn away from me and not want to have anything to do with me? There is nothing more painful than knowing inside your heart, knowing in your mind that your kids are older or maybe they're younger and they're just not wanting any part of getting to know you or wanting to spend time with you. And what sucks is when your kids are younger, they want to be held. They want to be nourished. They want to be taken care of. But it's funny, once they're able to walk and do things on their own, they start to realize, hey, I don't need you as much anymore. And then you're left like, where did the time go? My kid doesn't want to spend time with me anymore. My kid doesn't want to be held. My kid doesn't want to be hugged. My kid doesn't want to talk to me. My kid doesn't want to FaceTime with me. My kid doesn't want to have a conversation about their day. They just have no interest. And you start to fear, did I do something wrong? What could I have done better? And the worst thing that pops up into your mind is, did I lose my kid? These things happen, especially when they get into their teens. They feel like they know everything. And you're older as their parent, but they think that as a parent, you don't know jack squat, which is completely wrong. Or you have a child from a broken relationship, and because of the distance or because of different scenarios that may be playing out in the scenario, they just lose interest. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to get to know you. They just give up. And you feel hopeless. You feel afraid that there might be a chance that they'll never want to talk to you again. And we all know that that's not the case. We all know time heals all things, but we become impatient. And I believe that we become impatient within our fears because some of us, we want to overcome our fears, but because of different obstacles, it becomes hard to. And we start to wonder, what else can I do? What else can I do within my fear? Because I don't want to have my life become to the point where I'm too old and I'll be afraid that it will be too late, that it will be too late for me to overcome these things in my life. Don't create fear. If your depression in your life is causing you to be afraid because you have all this anxiety, now's the time to seek help. Seek guidance from a counselor. If you go to church, talk to your pastor or talk to one of the elders or one of the people that's in charge of taking care of people in your area. A deacon. Do what you can, not what you can't, to overcome these fears that are blocking you and preventing you from living a life where you can be happy, that you can look back on your life and go, at one point in my life, I was afraid. I feared this. But with confidence and encouragement and having a firm support base behind my back, I was able to succeed. I was able to defeat, and I was able to overcome my fears. And now today I am able to live a life where I am free from that fear. And I am able to live my life not looking back, but looking forward with my head held high, knowing that no matter what happens in my life, that fear will never defeat me again. How powerful is that? How powerful is that just hearing it? Can you imagine in your life you being able to say that? And how good it would feel to look at yourself in a mirror and say those words, those exact words to yourself, and how powerful you would feel, how great you would feel. And you may shed some tears because it will be an emotional feeling for you. And that's not a bad thing, but you sure won't forget it. It will be something that you will forever hold in your mind as something that you accomplished and you did it. Now, for some, the things that we are afraid of and that we fear are not something that we can fix. So what do we do to overcome that? What do we do to make sure that every single day we are able to live our lives not letting that fear defeat us? We have to believe in ourselves. We have to find that person, those people that are willing to stand by you side by side, arm to arm, holding your hand, letting you know that you're going to be okay. And every step that you take, they're going to be there for you. When you surround yourself with people that care, when you surround yourself with people that you're open and honest with about your feelings, about your emotions, it becomes easier for you to handle some of that heavy weight that you have been holding on your back. Trust me. The longer you don't at least try to attempt to help move forward and live your life in a way that's healthy, a way that is going to relieve some of that stress, that anxiety, you're going to be okay. The best thing you can do within your fear and your worries is to just pray. It's to ask God that you need His help to take this weight off your shoulders, to have Him take control of your life and lead you to where you need to go. And believe me, it may not be right away. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. It may take time, but believe me, the more you pray that same thing every single day, the more you're going to be able to see that change in your life. He will lead you in the right direction. He will help you and guide you and take some of that pain, the anxiety away. You just have to try. You have to keep trying. And you have to keep pushing every single day to be at your best. You can do it because you have to think and be positive. You have to do what you can, not what you can't. And you have to believe in yourself. So do that today. And as always, remember to put in your comments in the comment spot below about this conversation that we've had today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really hope that something may have clicked, something may have gotten to you and spoke to you, and you're able to share your story about fear and what you have been afraid of in your life. And how did you overcome it? And maybe you haven't overcome it yet and you're close, but you're not there yet. But whatever you're doing is working. Share what you're doing. Share what you have been successful with in your life. You never know how it might impact somebody else's life. They may feel, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. I'm going through that right now. And things for them may work out. They may have that hope then that they can pull through. But that can't happen if you don't share your story. And remember too, if you're going to write something and post something in the comment spot, make sure it has to do with the conversation. Make sure that it's appropriate. Make sure that it's not bashing or being rude. If you don't have something nice to say, folks, don't say it at all. Straight up. That's just how it is. I don't want to block. I don't want to delete comments because people want to be just rude. There's no place for that. And that's the reason why there's so many problems within our world today is there's people who want to create all this drama and we don't know why they do it. They just do it. And it makes no sense. People don't want to be kind. People want to be rude. People want to be these people, and there's a word for it when people are online being rude or all that, but I don't want to call people names because that's just giving them the attention that they want, right? So I'm not going to go there. But like I said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. There's no place for that here. It's not needed, and that's not what this is about. This is about helping people grow stronger within their life. And if you want to be a part of that mission, thank you so much. Join in that conversation in the comment spot. I appreciate all the comments that you put in to help people. It is truly amazing. And we already said the slogans already. Think and be positive. Do what you can today, not what you can't. And I believe in you. Don't you think you should too? And the biggest thing I can tell you guys is if you see someone who has served our country, whether it be military, police, fire, or even the hardworking people within our medical facilities, please give them a handshake, a fist bump, or an elbow. Let them know how much you appreciate them. You never know how much they might appreciate that one random act of kindness. So do it today. It's all about kindness. It's all about treating people the way you would want to be treated. So let's make a pact that we're going to do it starting right now. Alrighty? Thank you for listening. I appreciate all your support. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell for all the notifications of all the latest and greatest content that is posted here on the Kent Holste Podcast YouTube channel. Until the next time we talk, be safe, God bless, and we hope to talk to you very, very soon right here on the Kent Holste Podcast.